I'm so happy to virtually meet you all and super excited to have this panel discussion with this profound digital marketing SMEs and understand how is this data-driven marketing works. Actually, digital marketing becoming blooming in this market, right? Especially in this new normal life. People started realizing digital marketing is one way to reach larger clients, larger customers, and understands the customer's requirement. So I'm super excited to meet these people and understand the new strategy, data-driven marketing. So since she already introduced the panel speakers, I'm so happy that she took my part and introduced them. I cordially invite and welcome all the panel speakers, Nidhi Singh, Pradeep Chopra, Gautam Kalal, and Professor Christian Fairoli. So without wasting much of the time, can we get into the topic straight since we have very less time?
That's perfect.
Thank you. Okay, so I am quite new to digital marketing because I'm from a recruitment industry. So I know digital marketing, how it works and what is it all about. But what does this data-driven marketing is actually means? And why is it so important in boosting a brand? I would request Professor Christian to enlighten me with this detail.
Sure, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna be complicated, so in a way that hopefully everyone, including yourself that don't have a marketing background, can understand. So data-driven marketing is something for which in a normal marketing scenario, you launch a campaign, a lot of people see your ads or not, and some of them, they're gonna take action like purchasing the product. This is the normal traditional marketing. Data-driven marketing helps analyze what the real customer are doing, where do they come from, where do they go, in order for us to better understand their journey and to get more of the similar type of customers. So imagine that you buy something and then through data, I can understand who you are, your age, your gender, your interest. And from that information, I can figure out other people like you that probably have the same behavior, the same attitude, the same liking for similar products, and they're gonna possibly buy the products from me. Hope that it makes a little bit of sense.
Okay, so data becomes one of the vital part in this marketing strategy, right? With data, we realize which campaign we have to choose to attract them.
That's true, because this is something that on a regularly basis, company, they feel that they are wasting money, they're wasting budget. So they not only need to get better campaign, but they need to measure things properly. And that's why we say that now data is way more valuable than what we are selling. And we know that Google is making his fortune, his hundreds and plus $1 billion per year revenue by knowing and understanding better the data.
Okay, so why is it so important in today's scenario to boost our brands?
I mean, definitely to get more sales, because at the end of the day, every single minute there are new startup, new company, either in India, in Dubai, in the Middle East, in the United States, in California, in Silicon Valley, that actually they are going after the global scale. So they're not selling anymore to their local little markets. And to go on a global scale, I mean, which means that every day you're gonna get as a user, as a customer, you get bombarded by brands, and they try to convince you that their brand is better, and so you should buy their product, their service. And this is basically the brand comes to our mind because somebody decided to do so. And actually, I come from Italy, the country of where the most luxury brands in the world are. I mean, you look at Ferrari, Lamborghini, Armani, Versace, Dolce Gabbana, you name it. There are hundreds of super brands, and they all have done a job over a century of years. But actually, thanks to digital, the same process, it can be speeded up in a matter of few years. So we know the big companies from Silicon Valley, they come to our door, to our mobile, to our computer in a matter of less than 1 year, in a matter of few months from their inception. They're already global company, global entity. And this is all due to the fact that their brand is going to go global through digital marketing and through also what's called now digital branding, which is basically the next step, the next level of digital marketing. I hope that it answered your question.
Yeah, very much. I could understand. It was very simple. Is there any other panel who would like to add on this question for this question? Because data-driven marketing, let us understand in much more better way.
Hi everyone, my name is Gautam and I'm from Ahmedabad, India. And everybody must have, I'm sure everybody have a different angle of data-driven marketing, but to simplify and make everyone more clear about it. So let me give you an example of data-driven marketing. So if you look at the old days, I mean, we used to see a lot of billboards, hoardings in the city, right? So being a business owner or being an advertiser or marketer, if we are putting our ads on hoarding or billboards, so we always just think that, how many people will see that ad and, they will call us or they will email us or they will look at the brand and they will look at the products. So we don't had any option to track those things earlier. Like end of the day, how many people have visited that? Yeah. So we don't have that option, but this is where the digital comes into the picture, where we have the tracking system. And through that tracking, we exactly understand who is our customer and how many customers have actually visited the website or any of the e-commerce store or any of the digital asset that we have. And what page that they have clicked, how much time that they have spent, and what is their behavior. Exactly, we know who is the customer, the persona. And that's where the data is getting recorded in somewhere in the cloud or any of the form of the data. It doesn't mean that just a name and email ID or phone number, but it is a behavior like time spent, video watch time, and page views, and there are a lot of KPIs. So we get to know all of these, and based on that we actually strategize to serve our customer in a most creative way, most contextual way, and the most relevant way. So it helps to actually get more and more conversions. It could be lead, it could be a sale, it could be any objective that we have. So this is where I just wanted to add my share experience.
Super. Okay, Gautam. So the data tells what we have to do and how creative we can to attract the more customers. So what are the new trends available in data-driven marketing strategy in the market? I would like Pradeep Chopra to help us with these details.
Thank you, everyone, and really pleasure to be part of this panel. Let me show my screen and see if I can share something live. I hope all of you can see my screen. Right. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of understanding of data. Like in digital marketing, as we've already been through, data is the new oil, and the biggest opportunity is to be able to measure, right? Now, and there are lots of tools. And for people who have not yet experienced what we have been talking about, data-driven digital marketing, one of the easiest and the freely available tools is Google Analytics. And what all of you can do is probably note down this URL, those who are new to this. It is a shortened URL, bit.ly/dv-ana. What it does is it takes you to and Google Analytics, which is a tool created by Google to help you understand the kind of visitors, where they are coming from, almost everything about your website traffic. And even if you don't have a website, you can try it yourself. So what it will do is it will take you to a page like this. I'm showing our own live page, and it gives you actually so much data. One of the things I want to show you is you can find out in real time right now how many people are there on your website. And not just that, much more than that. Like right now on digitalvidya.com, there are 28 people. And as I'm speaking, this number is changing, right? So how many of them are from desktop, how many of them are from mobile, which pages they are on, how much time they have spent on each page, which locations have they come from. And all of you can check it for a Google merchandise store, which is, this is another link. The link which I have shared you will take you to this page, and you can almost experience the same thing, right? So why I'm sharing you with you, starting with this is so that everything we talk about later becomes more easy for you to comprehend. So this kind of data is freely available to you. Now, the bad part is there is too much data, right? And
interpretation will be little difficult.
We get lost. And honestly, over last 20 years, we've been using digital marketing for across all our ventures, and we have made many more mistakes and learned from them. And one of the biggest mistakes is collecting too much data and not making use of that. Now, right, so that's one thing which is very important, is to be able to begin with not data. Because if you get into analytics or things like this, you will be overwhelmed with too much data. And we begin with data. We should begin with what is our objective and what is our goal within that objective, and then connect data to it. Now, we are talking of the new trends. Why I'm sharing that is because if we are always having a grip on what is our objective, what is our goal, and then having a data connected to that, we can adapt. Like, if we look at changes which have happened recently and which are expected to continue to happen, things have changed phenomenally. No one had expected. And let's look at some of the examples. Like, when demonetization happened, Paytm analyzed that opportunity and came up with something overnight. The ad Paytm had come up with. Likewise, if we look at in this current pandemic, there are many companies who said this is so bad. They gave up. And there are many companies which grew and many which originated out of this opportunity. Zoom is one of the greatest examples.
Yeah.
Right? So what I am leading to is the agility. Adapt to the situation. I think the agility to adapt to the changes will going to be continue to be a new trend, because changes are happening so fast. And the only way you can do it is when you analyze the data, when you have a grip on the data.
Yeah.
So that is the agility is one of the most critical parts. And, companies have grown and companies have died in this, and new companies have originated, right? So likewise, if we look at people were going offline and suddenly they are not there. So another thing is we have very strong attachment to the channels.
True.
Right? So adapting to, again, the channels based on where your customers are. Like, not getting fixed to only digital or only offline or only mobile or only desktop or only Facebook or only Insta or only WhatsApp. Like, there are enormous new channels which comes up. And the only way you would be able to do is when you have a grip on the data. For example, Quora. Quora is a beautiful platform if you use it well. So adapting to a channel based on the conditions is, so having an, omni-channel approach becomes very critical. Mobile, I think, will continue to play a critical part. Likewise, I think personalization becomes even more critical. One of the things, other thing I want to show you is, for those who are probably new, using Facebook ads without even running an ad on Facebook. I hope all of you can see. You can target people based on so many parameters, like based on their relationship, based on the device on which they are accessing Facebook. So I'll give you this live example. So you want to target people who are only accessing Facebook on iPhone. Now, Facebook not only gives you opportunity to target based on that, it also tells you estimated number of people you can reach out to. I hope all of you can see my screen in real time. So that's the targeting and personalization, which will continue to become stronger and stronger. Again, you would need to connect with data. Here, I'm not just guessing. I want to find out whether Facebook is relevant for me without even getting my ad going live. I can check in real time, is Facebook going to be relevant? Don't stop there. This is first level of hypothesis you will have. And then you may have surprises. So, and that's where the agility will become important. So not, hooked on to a channel or a device or starting from data versus having objectives, having goals, knowing your audience, connecting with them, being agile, having an omni-channel, omni-device approach, and all of that supported with data. If you do, I think you will thrive and grow in the changing situation. That's what I would want to say. I hope it helps.
Okay, so objective setting is very important, and then you prevail to the data will give much more meaningful data for you, is what I could understand. And it was Facebook Analytics is free?
Yeah, Facebook comes with the Facebook Analytics, which is for your advertisement, which is for your pages. That's free.
Okay, great. So Gautam, any marketing strategy, the first step is very difficult, right? How to start, where to start is the most difficult part. So I just want to listen, how can a young new marketer can start with data-driven marketing?
I mean, there are a lot of ways to do it, but I would encourage, let's say somebody is starting out with a blog. Okay, so the first thing is that, looking at the trend. See, it is again, it's not, we just don't say it's just a trend, but it is again a data, because what trend is all about is like where a lot of people are talking about it. I mean, masses is, audience are being targeted, and a lot of people are talking about, let's say if there is a hashtag on Twitter. So I mean, there are a lot of instances that we have seen so far in previously, like when there is a, let's say, corona, when there is a demonetization, when there is any incidents that we have seen. And if you look at the Twitter as a trend, I mean, if you take example of any hashtag, and you will see a lot of people are on that particular hashtag, they are tweeting, retweeting, commenting, a lot of things are happening. So if you take this hashtag as a data point and see as a trend which has been discussed and a lot of people are involved, and if you come across with the right form of content to address this topic, or which is current affair today. So looking at the current affair and trend, and if you come across with the right form of content in a unique way, like maybe creative video, maybe creative article, maybe creative graphics, and if you put it across, the first thing that is going to be happening is that it will bring a lot of attention of the people. Like the people will look at it, people will like it, people will share it, and you as a brand, or you as a person, or you as a blog will get noticed by a lot of other people. And that is a very, very, very organic marketing approach that you can say. I mean, you don't need to go for paid advertising. It is just setting the context, basically what has been talked, what has been a lot of people are talking today. If we address that particular point, and if we summarize in a way, or we can add our own opinion to that particular. So this is a unique way of being a part of that current trend and getting mileage out of it.
So the new marketer has to analyze the client and the customer and our objective and the right channel to reach, so that it trends and reaches the maximum audience.
Yes.
Okay. Nidhi, any marketing strategy will have its own, disadvantage, advantage. It works for few, it doesn't work for few, and it is difficult to know whether it works for us or not. So how can we understand, is data-driven marketing is working for me, for my business?
Well, here is how you can start, right? There are a lot of free tools, and Pradeep, thank you for showing that Google Analytics, Facebook, and not just Google Analytics, Facebook, Instagram, blogging, YouTube marketing, Quora marketing, email marketing, everything has a freemium version. So if you're planning to start a business, go and sign up for those freemium versions. They all give you tracking. You take some dibs in how these analytics platforms are, how Facebook advertisements, you can start for as cheap as 100 rupees and take a flavor of ads. You can also take sessions. I think Pradeep himself has Digital Vidya and has been my competition in my previous life for the longest of time, working at EduPristine and heading marketing there. So I have often come across his content as well, and he was talking about Quora. Okay, let me not drift and talk about how you can get started. Sign up for these premium versions, take a dibs, and then get started with a platform that you think you're most comfortable with. More often than not, when smaller businesses are starting up, they perhaps start with one platform. For instance, I started writing on Quora and I started to have a good followership of say 75,000 followers. And then I came with this inspiration, maybe let's start a YouTube channel and let's see where it goes, because a lot of people reach out to me to talk about digital marketing, and who knows, tomorrow it can pan out into something else. That could be one starting point. A lot of people start from Instagram marketing and they gain a lot of traction, and then they realize, oh, I'm already an influencer. Let me do something more on Instagram. And they, I know so many people personally in my network who have started their business through Instagram, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, where you have gotten hold of one platform. You know the game of that platform, you know what works and what doesn't, because of course performance marketing is all about telling you who is the audience, who is the right audience, who is clicking, who is performing well, and who is converting, right? And what is not converting as well. So if you know that your idea is not converting, you need to pivot, and you can do that as well. So once you start small, you start with one platform, you can start and expand to other platforms. So say if you're starting with Instagram marketing, you have understood the game, you have understood, you get analytics dashboard there. It's very simple when you start with Insta or some such platform. You understand what audience is working. You will figure out, it will show you breakup of audience, so if maximum females are buying your product, you know what kind of information, you will get information like what is their age group, what's the next product that you should launch, or what kind of communication will appeal to them. If they are between 18 to say 25, the communication that will appeal to younger audience is going to be really different from someone who is in their late millennial age, right? So you can start from one platform and then you can expand to other platform basis what kind of budgets you have, right? And then you can test, optimize, and keep repeating your success on other platforms.
But most of the time when we fix the audience targets, for example, let's take Insta, when we do that, sometimes we fail terribly. Though we know the objective, the target audience we set right in the platform, sometimes it goes wrong. So is it that we have to continuously take one platform and continue with that so till we succeed, or we look for something else and go move on?
I think I would say experiment enough. Many a times, a lot of times what happens is we are not very good at experimenting. We do a lot of moving pieces and we think, why isn't it working? So whenever you are experimenting, you need to keep one variable and experiment. If you are thinking that age is not working, you fix communication. I mean, I'm not saying that go with the same communication for all the age groups, but basically keep testing, change your message, try it for the different audience, try it with different graphics, right? Basically test the platform properly before moving to other pieces. Yeah. And I would also like to talk a little bit about the evolution of this digital space. Up until now, from traditional to digital, there was a big leap, right? There was shift from hoardings and physical form of communication to digital form of communication, where you are able to track a single click or conversion, etc. Now we are moving to a more sophisticated system where we are not just talking about which source got me the conversion, but we are also talking about multi-channel attribution. So the complexity and availability of data is increasing, but at the same time, it is increasing to help us. So, I think if you are running campaigns in today's world, a lot of intelligence is provided by system. The systems takes care of success if you do the basics right.
Yes. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for that input. Because I was being an entrepreneur myself, sometimes I I myself get confused because I'm a good LinkedIn influencer, but should I need to continue with LinkedIn or move to another platform is always becoming a challenge for any entrepreneurs and business runners.
Never leave a platform that's working for you.
Okay.
LinkedIn is giving very high organic reach. So please leverage it as much as you can.
Sure. Thank you so much for that input. One final last question to all the panel speakers who wanted to. Any marketing strategy will have their own challenge, difficulties, pitfalls, right? So can I have the pitfalls on data-driven marketing?
I can just start saying that sometimes it's difficult to collect data. So we like to take the data from whatever exists, but companies, they either are 100% online or 100% offline. They find some difficulty to mix those two worlds. Just to give you an example, the simplest way to start with data-driven marketing is at least ask more information to your existing clients. At least understand the demographic. How old are they? From which area of the city or of the country they are based? Where do they live? Even within the city, which area do they live? And this will give you an instant amount of information that's going to help you set up your next campaign in a better way. For sure, you're going to get more of the good data. But typically, when clients buy from us, we never ask information about them. So it's so simple. Even if you do delivery, or if you are a pizza delivery, any company, you simply call your customers and say, hey, do you mind if I ask you why you choose our product, our service? May I just know which area of the city you live, or how you find out about us? Simple question like this, which are typically used to be very common in the traditional marketing world. Now they are very uncommon in the digital world, because we expect to get the data from this wizard of Google and Facebook, etc., which they are wizards and they give us as much data as possible. But we forget sometimes the old school way. We just ask to our clients, because we work as a marketer on the unique selling point, on the value proposition, all of those nice concepts. But in reality, if we simply ask our customers why they bought our service or our product, we will know in reality what is important for them, rather than the drivability of the car, the brand positioning, and all of those fancy words, which at the end of the day, they choose us maybe because we are cheap, because they like us, because their cousin introduced to us. So we rely maybe on word of mouth and not on marketing. So in reality, all of our marketing efforts are vague.
Oh, great. Yeah, sometimes over data will confuse us more.
Exactly.
And how to interpret that data will be much more challenging.
Exactly.
We don't know what is really what we want, and it confuses more.
Yes,
and this traditional way of connecting with the customers will always give a bit better view about the customers. And I would say that when Pradeep addressed, please set the objective first. I 100% with it, because without objective, any data is null and void, and it doesn't make much sense, is what I feel. Is there anything else what members wanted to discuss? And the customers, the way they see our product, only data cannot give that perspective. It's all you connect with the customers and get it to know. So these are all few things which I understood, and it's so pleasure to see you all and interact. Is anybody else wanted to add anything? You can add finally.
We just have to say that digital, it can look scary, and a lot of marketers, a lot of companies, they feel afraid of. But the beauty, one of the main concepts that I learned a long time back from a speaker from the United States, is that failing is very cheap with digital. So you cannot do big damages with it. So it's definitely a trial and error. It's definitely something that you need to play with it. It's not an exact science. It's been around only for a few years, even though I've been doing it for 18 years. It's still a relatively new field. But again, it's very cheap to fail. So you have to jump on the boat. Otherwise, you're going to left behind. That's for sure.
But this trial and error should not cost it too much also. Sometimes that will spoil the entire process, and it becomes more scary, the digital marketing.
Yes, that's true.
I think I will add a point to Professor Christian's point. I think a very valid point. Actually, even and I sell this very hard that if you're planning to start a business, digital is the way. It's cheap, actually. It's not expensive. It's cheap. It's fast. You can, as you say, you can feel faster and figure out what's not working so that you can do something that's working for you.
Yeah.
So, unlike traditional where you need a lot of time, a lot of money to make a big bang, in digital, you can start small with the specific audience and, you can create your community and you can grow big, and sky is the limit. So start somewhere. A lot of organic potential is there in digital. You don't even need money to start. You can start with free stuff, free on social media, free on email marketing, and then you can move to paid. So many people run businesses today which are completely organic. You go on YouTube, you go on Quora, you go on Instagram, Facebook. If you are building an engaged community, you will be doing so much through organic, which is free.
That's true.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
I accept. Thank you so much for all of you. And it was pleasure interacting with you all. And I think the audience also would have got good views on data-driven marketing and what is it all about and how it can improve their business and make them to grow better and better. And digital marketing is one area which we cannot avoid because, as it said, it's reachability is so high, which we cannot avoid. Thank you so much. It was pleasure interacting with you all today. I trust.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Shikala, and wonderful speakers. It was like I'm just listening to a lot of people like about data-driven marketing, success about the marketing campaign, and you're converting your customers, consumers, a lot of information from all of you. Thank you very much. Not only the attendees, but me sitting here as an entrepreneur, startup entrepreneur. Yes, I had a lot of insights. Thank you very much for all the insights, Mr. Pradeep, Mr. Gautam, Ms. Nidhi, Professor Christian, and Ms. Sashikala.